Break through any limitation. Here's how. Tony Robbins. The wall behind the curtain. 6 months had passed since Ethan Cole turned his life and business around. Grounded at Home was now a thriving brand. Had team members, subscribers, media, appearances, and momentum. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside, something felt ... stuck. Every time Ethan thought about scaling further, hiring full-time staff, raising outside capital, franchising the cafe, he hesitated. Something invisible, something deep pulled him back. A voice whispered, "What if? You're not ready?" That voice didn't shout. It just lingered. Like an invisible wall built brick by brick from doubts, past failures, and old stories. And then, one night on a rooftop in Los Angeles after a podcast interview, he looked out over the skyline and finally admitted it. "I've hit a ceiling and the enemy isn't the market. It's me, the illusion of progress." Ethan wasn't failing, but he also wasn't growing. He was busy, yes, meetings, launches, videos, partnerships. But he wasn't breaking through. He was expanding the edges of his comfort zone, not shattering them. And Tony Robbins had once said something that now haunted him. The only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story. If you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. Ethan had overcome survival. But could he handle success? Could he go from solopreneur to visionary CEO? From local impact to global leadership? His subconscious wasn't so sure. The limitation within it wasn't until a private mastermind in Miami that Ethan got called out. He was speaking to a group of 7-figure business owners. His presentation? Polished, professional, well, rehearsed, but not real. Afterward, a mentor named Jacob pulled him aside. "You're holding back," Jacob said. "Not in your slides, in your soul." Ethan blinked. "You're playing not to lose. That's a limitation. And the worst part? You're pretending it's strategy." It's that hit like a THUNDRCLAP. He realized his limitation wasn't lack of skill or vision. It was fear. Fear of leading. Fear of being seen. Fear of owning power. Total immersion. So, Ethan did something radical. He signed up for a 5-day personal breakthrough event based on Tony Robbins' methodology immersive, emotional, and confrontational. He flew to San Diego, left his laptop behind, turned off his phone, and stepped into 5 days of intensity. He yelled, cried. He walked on fire, literally. He faced the childhood wound of watching his dad abandon a business and spiral into depression. He relived the moment he first believed. It's dangerous to dream too big. He broke that belief. And when he did, something shifted in his body. Not a thought, a truth. Limitations aren't real. They're rehearsed. Rewiring the identity. Tony Robbins teaches that true breakthroughs require 2 things: emotional intensity, repetition of new patterns. Ethan now had the emotional intensity. He'd cried out his fears. He'd burned the old identity. Now he had to build a new one, so he created a daily ritual. Morning power questions. What am I proud of? What am I committed to? Who do I need to be today? Movement, jumping, running, sweating, changing his state before touching work. Visualization, seeing himself at the next level, confident, composed, charismatic. He began to speak as if he already was that leader. Not to fake it, but to train his nervous system to believe it, and soon others believed it too. The power of decision in his event notebook. Ethan had underlined this quote 3 times. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. Ethan had talked about scaling for months, but now he made decisions. He hired a crew to run daily operations. He turned down a podcast tour to focus on building. He invested $25,000 in rebranding, grounded into a lifestyle empire. These were not safe decisions. They stretched him. They scared him. But with each action, the limitation lost power. He wasn't the same man who feared what if it fails. He now asked, what if this is the breakthrough? Systems, structure, and scale. With his mindset elevated, Ethan now turned to mechanics. He learned that breakthrough requires more than hustle. It requires structure. He built systems, automated fulfillment for coffee boxes, content calendar for marketing in YouTube, leadership training for his team. He created space in his business so he could think. One morning, sipping espresso at sunrise, he realized something powerful. He wasn't just building a business. He was building himself. Every decision was a declaration of who he was becoming, the gift in the breakdown. And then it happened. 2 weeks before Black Friday, Ethan's supplier failed to deliver 2,000 bags of his premium roast. Chaos, refunds, angry emails, YouTube backlash, sales dropped. A brand deal pulled out. The old Ethan might have spiraled, but this Ethan stepped up. He went live on social media, apologized, explained, owned it. He offered triple value vouchers, sent handwritten notes. And then, in a moment of raw transparency, he said, "Sometimes your biggest growth comes wrapped in your biggest breakdown." People didn't just forgive him. They followed him more deeply. Sales bounced back and doubled. Because the audience wasn't just buying coffee, they were buying trust. Ethan, the leader, in January. Ethan was invited to keynote a business summit in New York. He stood before 3,000 people, entrepreneurs, investors, dreamers, and told his story. He didn't speak as a guru. He spoke as a warrior who had been through the fire. He spoke about the invisible prison of self-doubt. He spoke about the stories we inherit from childhood, from society, from failure. He spoke about how to break those stories. And when he finished, the standing ovation wasn't just polite. It was electric. People lined up not for selfies, but to say thank you. You gave me permission to believe again. Beyond the limitation, 6 months later, Grounded was a multi-million-dollar brand. They had a media studio, fulfillment center, and an academy for young entrepreneurs. Ethan had launched a book titled Brew Bold: How to Build When You Feel Broken. He still had doubts, still faced challenges. But now, he had tools, he had rituals, he had certainty. He knew the truth that Tony Robbins teaches. The only limit to your impact is your imagination and your commitment. You are the fire starter. You might be facing a limitation right now. It might be fear, or doubt, or debt, or criticism, or past trauma. But hear this. Limitations are not real. They're practice patterns. And patterns can be rewritten. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be courageous. You don't need perfect timing. You need a real decision. You don't need more hours. You need a higher standard. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Today is the day you break through. Not because the world changed, but because you did break through, become more. Then lead others to do the same, just like Ethan, just like you're about to.